Media Center at the Chevron Championship. I'm joined here by Nelly Korda, defending champion this week at the Chevron Championship. Just touching back quickly last year, what are your best memories from last year? I know you had quite the chilly jump in the pond at the end.
Probably best memory last year was jumping into the pond with my entire team. I think that was just a really cool moment for us, and with all the hard work and all the chatter around it possibly being my fifth in a row, just having like that moment together was just so much fun.
All right, I'll open it up to get things rolling. Will or Sarah, if you'd like to go first.
Nelly, I know obviously played really well here last year. Really like this golf course. Haven't finished T4 the year before. For you, I know it's playing a little softer out there this year. How do you make those adjustments versus last year?
I have not seen the golf course yet, so I can't talk to how the golf course is playing. I got in yesterday afternoon from LA, but I know that they have received a bit of rain throughout the past week. So, yeah, we'll see how the golf course is playing. If it's playing longer, maybe, the last year the greens were a little newer, so they weren't as receptive. So we'll see how it's playing this year. But I can't talk to how the golf course is playing just yet.
Well, you can talk to the Champions Dinner last night. Just how enjoyable was that whole experience, picking the menu, having your Czech flavor within the menu, working with Thomas Keller?
It was so much fun. Chef Keller was so great to work with, and then having all of us together in the room, the past champions, and sat at a table with Julie Inkster, and she's always so much fun to be around, and just all of us getting together was just so great. And then obviously getting to work with Thomas Keller was a dream come true, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
All right, Will?
When you come to a course like this where you've already had success, when you go out there this afternoon or tomorrow, are there things that you and your caddy can kind of breeze over, or do you still go about it the same way?
Every year that I've played at a golf course, no matter how many times I've played, I feel like it just plays so different with just maybe the winter that they've had and the way the golf course is playing with the weather. Maybe, as I said, I've heard that they've gotten a good bit of rain before. So I don't think I've ever played a golf course where it's played the same the year prior to the year we're at. So going around, seeing how the greens are rolling, seeing if they've changed a couple of tees. Sometimes that's what they like to throw in. They like to make the golf course longer, or they like to make it a little bit more interesting. So trying to definitely just plot our way around and seeing what our game plan for the week is going to be. It's just going to be the same like it is every week, even if it was a new golf course.
4 in a row coming in here last year, still playing incredibly solid at the moment, still number one.
Mm-hmm.
Are there things in your game this week compared to the last 4 or 5 events that need to click for you to defend your championship?
Yeah, I think I saw some improvements in my game last week with my irons. Definitely felt a little bit more comfortable with that, and then just need my putter to kind of click a little bit more to make those putts. I think that's kind of where it's been lacking, is the putts that I was making last year. I'm just not making as many this year, but I think that's just golf. I've gone through waves like this before, and if I just continue working at it, hopefully it does click.
All right, gentleman in the front. Or who has the mic in the front? Yep, if you'd like to go ahead.
Hi.
Hi, Nelly. Lauren from KPVU TV. So first starting out, you're ranked world number 1 once more going into the first major of the year for LPGA. Of course, holding your title from last year here at Carlton Woods. How do you intend to keep the same momentum you had from last year and carry it over into this year?
I would say last year's just last year. This is a brand new year. I mean, what I achieved last year, no one can take that away from me. That's always gonna be such a great memory, but it's a fresh week and a fresh mindset, and I just have to kind of put that aside, what I did last year, and know that the golf course could be playing different. It's a different field, so going out there and preparing, the best that I possibly can, control what I can control, and give it my all is all that I can really do.
And then, of course, going into the stringline of tournaments you've been going into from the start of the season up until now, and based on how you perform, this week here at Carlton Woods, how do you expect the rest of the season to go for you, not just for your golf game, but also for your mental, especially going into the CMA Group Championship at the end of the season?
Yeah, I'm hoping, my mindset every week is one shot at a time, and that's kind of what I've always had, and I'm not going to look too far ahead, and I'm definitely not going to reminisce about the past because, the past is the past. It's not going to really help me in the future or in the present, so I'm just going to stay very present.
All right, in the back row.
Hi, Nelly. I'm Tylen from KPVU TV. Congratulations on your win in 2024.
Thank you.
What would you say is the most fulfilling aspect of golf to you?
I think it's definitely changed every year, but right now I would say there's two different sides to it. One is seeing all the little kids come out and say that we inspire them to pick up the game of golf, and knowing that the game of golf is heading in a great direction with seeing all these little kids picking up the game. And then two is my team. I love them so much. And then for us being together, no matter the ups and the downs, like we just all stick together, we grind through it.
And for my last question, with all the accolades that you have earned throughout the years, what do you feel the most pressure with, being like that you're returning? You have so many titles. Like, what is the pressure? Like, how do you feel pressured?
I would say that, we've heard in the past, but pressure is privilege. So for me to be in this position, I just try to soak it all up and try to really enjoy every single moment of it, because that just means that all the hard work that I've put in has paid off. So I just try to enjoy the moment and try to stay in my own little bubble when it is time to start.
All right, Amy.
You mentioned the chatter last year around your win. Obviously, you handled that very well, and there's always chatter around whatever you're doing. Mm-hmm. We take you down these rabbit holes when you come in here. How do you get away from that chatter and kind of tune that out when you leave us?
Honestly, we do such a great job as a team where we just really stay in the moment. And, when we're out there, sometimes we barely talk about golf. We just talk about our own life, what we're going through, some funny stuff we've seen on social media, what other people have done. So we keep it really light, and that's what I love about the team so much, is that sometimes we just don't even talk about golf. And I think that's what kind of takes me away from it. And then my parents are going to come in today, so having them staying with me is always really nice. I'm going to make my dad do Legos with me this week. And then maybe do some games, because we both are really competitive. Something that we've always played together is sequence, so I think I'm going to pick that up. So stuff like that just gets my mind off of it.
And what kind of Legos are you building this week?
I don't know. Last week I got a McLaren gifted from a fan, which was really cute. And then I did, I think, Simba, yeah.
You mentioned you hadn't seen the course yet, but you're expecting it to be much different. When you go out there, what are you looking for when you and your team are talking about golf? Like, what are you scoping out as you make your return?
I would say how soft the golf course is, how receptive the greens are, how fast the greens are. But today is Pro-Am day, so I can't practice during the round today with our new regulations. So I'll probably go out and play 18 tomorrow. I'm not used to this. Usually I'll play like 9, 9, 9, but since I didn't get in till late yesterday, and then we had the Champions dinner, I didn't get to play 9 yesterday, so I'll probably play 18 tomorrow to really actually scope out the golf course.
All right, Jill.
First of all, how'd the dumplings turn out?
Oh, they were great. I mean, the whole meal was just amazing. I was so full by the end of it, and it was amazing.
Okay. 2 rookies have already won on tour this year. If you go back to 2017, I know you had 5 top 10s, and then you got your first one in 2018. Mm-hmm. How do you play with, the kind of confidence that you did when you first came out on tour, and that you see in the rookie class now?
Yeah, I think in a sense, like when you're a rookie, you have nothing to lose. You have no scar tissue, so you just go out and you just kind of enjoy the moment. You're so grateful to be out here. It's your rookie year. Like every golf course is new. You're enjoying every moment. Not that I'm not saying that a couple of years down the road, like you're not doing the same thing, but I feel like maybe you don't have as much scar tissue in a sense. So I mean, it's great for them. Like I didn't win my rookie year. It's so hard to even just win out here. So for them to come out and ball out like that, props to them. But I would say I think there's a different mindset, it being your rookie year versus maybe being a little bit of a veteran out here.
All the responsibilities that you have as a defending champ while trying to obviously prepare and play your best golf.
I mean, I think I enjoy it. I know that I have my priorities. My priority at the end of the day is to prepare the best I possibly can to defend. So that always comes first. And if I have time for anything else, I'll do it. But my priority is always my golf.
All right, Zach, in the front.
Thank you. What do you remember as standing out last year as being challenging about this golf course?
As I said, I think the greens were a little newer. I think that's what they redid the year before. So they were just a little firmer and bouncier. So making sure that you were landing in the correct spot for it to release. And then the weather played a pretty big difference. I think it was a little colder throughout the entire week. We had a couple of rain delays. So I actually played, I don't know how many holes I've played on the last day, but I had to finish my third and fourth round on Sunday as well. So I think all of that plays a little bit of a aspect to how difficult the course can play.
And a lot of fans here in Houston excited to come out and watch you play. What do you remember about the support that you received last year from this community?
Yeah, it was so much fun to play in front of all the fans last year. This tournament always gets such an amazing crowd with the little ones, too. So my favorite thing about this event is how long our lines are for the autograph alley. And that's what I kind of enjoy the most about kind of playing week in and week out. Like, no matter how bad of a day you've had, like last week I finished with a double on the last day, and everyone was like, you played so great, and me here like having a tear running down my face, dunked it into the water on 18. But it's just a different perspective, and you know, I just love playing in front of them, and for them to just say that like I'm such a big inspiration to them is it brings a whole different perspective too.
And then we'll go back here.
Hi.
On last night's Champions dinner, Nelly, I'd say compared to Scotty Scheffler's menu, a little bit more luxury. You kind of leveled up there. I appreciated that with you and Chef Thomas Keller. What do you think was the favorite amongst the champions last night?
I mean, it was really funny. Everyone, after every single meal, it doesn't matter if it was the caviar, the cream of mushroom soup, I just kept getting like this, like a great job. And I was like, yeah, I was in the back making this all day for you guys. No, Chef Keller was amazing, super easy to work with, too. I definitely wanted to bring in my heritage with the dessert. I'm so proud to be an American, but I'm also super, super proud of my roots. So I wanted to bring that back in, too.
Great, Steve.
Can you share any stories from the dinner last night? It's kind of an intimate little gathering.
Yeah, no, I mean, I sat at a table with Inkster and Lexi. Pete Pernilla was right next to me, too, and Lilia. So I think just amongst the table, we were sharing stories, but not, no one really came up to the front and shared some stories. It's such a great group because you get all the past champions, the first winner of this tournament coming in, and then you have Amy Alcott, who started the tradition of jumping into the pond. So you get everyone in a group, which you never get, and it's just such a fun setting.
And how happy you are that Chevron is so welcoming of the past champions and bringing, you know, kind of that community together.
Yeah, Mike and Julie have done such an amazing job. Obviously, I know a lot of people were sad with leaving Palm Springs, Mission Hills area, having all the traditions there, and they've really, really stepped it up and made sure that, you know, this event has traditions, and for them to be this dedicated to it, I mean, props to them, and I can't wait to see where this tournament goes under their leadership.
All right, over here.
Over
here first, yeah.
What was your expectation in jumping into the water last year? Like, was it cold? And would you do it again?
Yeah, I would 100% do it again, but I was last one in, first one out. Once my feet hit the ground, I was like, oh my God, this is so slimy. I'm getting right out. So definitely not as clear as it was back in Palm Springs, but traditions have to live on.
All right, and then Will for the last one.
Nelly, you're going to be playing with the ANWA winner, Carla Escudero, in one of the Pro-Ams. I'm just wondering, you know, in your opinion, how pivotal is it? You got some opportunities in majors as an amateur. How pivotal is it for, you know, the majors to continue to give those opportunities?
Yeah, getting that experience under your belt, walking onto the range and seeing all the best players in the world, like as a 14-year-old when I qualified for my first U.S. Open, that was kind of the first thing that I noticed was obviously you're very intimidated, and I feel like the more I played out here, the more comfortable I got. So I think for them to get that experience under their belt and, you know, show off their great game and be a little bit more comfortable for them is a great experience.
All right, there's actually one more on the Zoom, and then that's it.
Hi, Nelly. Just a quick question. What's the most important thing to you when it comes to prepping for a major? Do you do anything differently, or do you treat it like any other competition?
I like to have the same mindset for every single event. I don't like to do anything a little bit extra for majors because I feel like that puts a little bit more pressure on yourself while you've already putting a little bit more pressure in other aspects. So I just try to prep for every event the same exact way, so I'm in a routine and I'm in my little comfort zone.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Nelly.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Have a great week.